Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to bringing the Division video. What I've guessed today is my 2 million damage sticky bomb build. Now first of all, I do want to say this is a PvE build, this is not a PvP build. Usually in PvP, I don't use electronic builds, I don't really use skill power builds. I don't know why, I'm just not really that type of player. Obviously if I'm using Reclaimer, I'll use like skill power and electronics. But usually, I just use electronic and skill power builds for PvE. Now as you guys know, Classified Tactician is out, so I wanted to make something a little bit different. As I said, I don't really use this too much, and I came up with this build. It's really good, it's really fun to use. Anything like legendary missions, incursions. Now first of all, I would recommend playing with a team whenever using this build because you are kind of squishy, you don't have that much stamina. And soloing with this build isn't really the best choice unless you want to take forever in missions because you have to stay in cover a little bit because as I said, you are kind of squishy, so with a team or even with one extra person, this build would be even better. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video or find it helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for my videos, and let's get right into this. So starting out first, I do want to show you guys my abilities. Now obviously, since this is a sticky bomb build, you have to be using a BFB bomb. And also I am using a first aid overdose, and this is somewhere I wish this build was a little bit different. With a booster shot, I do think this build would be even better. But unfortunately, the gear I'm using and the way this build is kind of set up, I can't use the booster shot because I wouldn't get a overheal. Next up, I'm also using a recovery link, and for the talents, I do have Triage, Strike Back, I'm also using Demolition Expert, and I do have Chain Reaction. Chain Reaction, Demolition Expert, if you're making any type of like skill power damage build with like sticky bombs or secret mines, these are the talents I would recommend using. Also Triage, kind of self-explanatory. Although I'm not a healer, with this build, my heals are still really good, so whenever I'm pinned down or whatever, I drop a heal on my teammates, my skills will come back 15% faster so I can use that sticky bomb again. Anyways, as for the build, this is what I have. So as you guys can see, this is a 4-piece Tactician, a Barrett chest piece, and an Inventive backpack build. And in my opinion, there are multiple ways to make this build and make it efficient as well. If you guys don't have a Barrett chest piece, you can go with a 5-piece Tactician and use a Inventive backpack, or if you want to use this for PvP a little bit, you can use a 5-piece Tactician and use a Vigorous chest piece, so you can get a overheal with the booster shot. Also, if you don't have an Inventive backpack, something like a 5-piece Tactician with a Barrett chest piece will work as well, although you're missing out on some skill power. Anyways, enough with the chit-chatting. That's the pretty much combinations you can make with this build. In my opinion, this one works the best for me and my playstyle, so that's what I'm using. As for the weapon, I do have a lightweight M4 with Competent, Talented, and Determined. As I said previously, if you're making a healer build, a sticky damage build, a Seeker Mine build, whatever it is, having these talents is really good because you get your skills a little bit quicker and you also get a little bit more skill power from Talented. For the secondary, I'm actually using a shotgun, and this is somewhere I wish I did have a good showstopper. I'm using a shotgun so I can stack my shots a little bit quicker. In 1.8, they made the stacking for Tactician a little bit different. Your team doesn't actually stack it for you. You can actually stack it yourself now whenever you shoot the enemies. And what's really good about it is if you miss bullets, it doesn't actually go down. It just stays where it is. So in my opinion, stacking with a shotgun is the fastest since it does have 8 stacks per bullet. So if you're playing PvE or even PvP, stacking your Tactician with a shotgun is the way to go. Moving on to the main part of the build, and that is the gear. So starting off first, I do want to show you guys my Barrett chest piece. And obviously I am using this for the extra skill power, which is 10% when I have no skills on cooldown. But really quickly, I'm using Electronics, Skill Haze, Health, Increased Kill XP, and for the mods I'm using a Stamina and Skill Haze mod, and another Stamina and Skill Haze mod. For the mask, we're using Electronics, Skill Power, Blindside Death Resistance, and we also have a Electronics and Skill Haze mod on this mask. Up next, for the knee pads, we're using Electronics, Skill Power, Burn Resistance, Damage to Leads, Blindside Death Resistance, and we also have another Electronics and Skill Power mod with a 4% sticky bomb damage. If you guys are looking for the sticky bomb damage mods, there is actually one being sold at the East 42nd Street checkpoint in the Dark Zone. It's really good, it's maxed out, it's the one I have on right now. So if you want to make this build or if you want to just pick up those mods for future builds, make sure to check out that vendor. For my backpack, I'm using an Inventive backpack for the extra 15% skill power. I'm also using electronics, skill power, burn resistance, with a electronics and skill haste mod, and 2 sticky damage mods. As for the gloves, I rolled into electronics, assault rifle damage, skill haste, and enemy armor damage. Ideally, I would want critical hit chance over enemy armor damage, but it's not bad, especially with this build. I'm playing PvE, so enemy armor damage isn't really that bad of a choice. Lastly, for the holster, I'm spec'd into skill haste with a 4% sticky damage mod. So yeah, that's pretty much the build. That's the way I build my sticky damage build in this game at the moment. As I said, there is multiple options you can make and kind of swap gear out for this build and make it work as well, but in my opinion and with my playstyle, this one works the best for me. The final thing I do want to show you guys is my character stats. So it's not really too impressive, but for the weapon damage, I'm sitting at 14,000, 8.50% critical hit chance, 84% critical hit damage, 87% headshot damage. Up next, I do have 231k health. And as I said, solo and playing solo with this build could be kind of stressful because you do not have that much health and the NPCs do a lot of damage, so you might get folded quite fast. So playing with a team or extra person using like support station, whatever the case is a good idea. And for the skill haste, I'm sitting at 49%. The reason I'm not at 50 is because I would have to invest in another skill haste mod, and that would take away a skill power mod that I'm using right now. In my opinion, there's no really big difference between 49 or 50% skill haste. I think the skill cooldown reduction is a difference of like 0.8 or 0.10 seconds reduction. So it's not something you should worry about. If you have 49%, it's still really good. But anyways, that is it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. I respond to all my comments. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Trust you, okay, can you real address? I can't trust you, okay, can you real address? It don't mean that be like Jerry Stacker. I might fall in love with my trap house.